Yeah, well, it's me again. Responding. Apparently, I'm not, dialogue-y enough, for a response, or I don't, have the willingness to engage in whatever pleasantries you need to exist for there to be an argument on a subject. Yeah, it's an argument. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to whine if you call me a name. It's really not going to bother me, or whether you call the atheist movement something. I really couldn't give a damn. It's about the truth. It's the friggin' truth is what we're looking for here. That's what we're arguing about, is what is the truth. I don't care what's a movement. I don't care theism. I don't care. These stupid words mean nothing. They're meaningless. But anyway, okay, moving on. In the last reply, this idea of yours that the universe must have an initiation day, a day where the universe starts. No, I pointed out, no, it can be infinitely future, it can be infinitely past. There's no rule in physics or anywhere else that says it is impossible that the universe is an oscillating permanent fixture of the universe. That matter is just a reality. It exists. Not even matter. Let's just call it energy, okay? Because the Big Bang there was no matter. It was just energy. And energy put in motion. Energy released, however we want to put it. It was freed. And whether that happens, we don't know the physics of a black hole. How are we going to know the physics of the entire universe concentrated into a speck? And what would cause that to explode dynamically? We don't know the physics to that, but there's no reason to believe there's no physics, that somebody has to push a button. And then, the whole idea of this. You will argue about this minutia about physics, and yet what you won't deal with is the fact that you have this parentless, all-powerful entity. Okay, it has no father, it has no mother, it has no creator, it has no button pusher, it has no anything. And it is this extraordinary explanation. It's not a reasonable explanation or a rational explanation in the context of our scientific knowledge, and yet you will sit there and compare that explanation with logical deduction based on what we see, and we know some 90% of the universal facts, maybe, who knows what the exact quantity of facts we know about the nature of nature. We know a lot of the rules, we understand a lot of it, and every bit of it that we understand doesn't demonstrate one bit of evidence that there is anything out there. No magic, no electron moving in some unknown direction, no spontaneous events, no real spontaneous, just this stupid word we have. But anyway, nothing to indicate anywhere the hand of God. Nothing. And yet you think it is reasonable to take all the scientific knowledge that demonstrates evolution in every respect. We see atomic evolution, we see hydrogen turned into helium in the sun, we see it turned into gold eventually, all these elements, we see them supernova, we see them condense into planets, we see the evolution of matter, and then we see the evolution of compounds, and eventually compounds that can reproduce themselves, and then we have this evolution of life. We can see it. It is a logical deduction from the facts. The facts point to it, and yet you say, okay, there's this 7 days and the whole Christian thing, and you even go with that. You're stuck on the whole. You're saying to me, Genesis is real. It's not a metaphor. It's a real story. And yet we won't account for dinosaurs, and we won't account for the elements in the ground. We won't account for any of that stuff, and we'll just say, well, an all-powerful God can, create these this evidence that's going to just confuse us. He'll give us an intellect, and yet he'll throw these confusing dinosaur bones, and he'll put seashells on the top of Mount Everest just to play with us, just to jerk us off. How crazy is this? And to use science or the pretense of science to justify this kind of stuff, I don't know where you're coming from with this. This is, and then you think I'm probably too hostile and I'm too aggressive. Well, I think you're a fraud to sit there and abuse science this way. Okay, and then you had infinity versus infinity versus eternal. I already touched on that, but what's the difference? I mean, there's nothing saying it can't be eternal. There's no rule in nature says no, there's no such thing as eternal. No, it's no one's postulating that. Maybe somebody else speculates and conjectures differently than I do, and maybe they don't think there's an oscillating universe or an forever universe, but whatever. There's no rule that says I'm wrong, that it can't be oscillating. I mean, I could say a giant carrot created the universe. I mean, I don't think it fits with the facts, but I could say it, and you couldn't say no, that couldn't happen, that's impossible. All right, and then cause and effect. It's everything we see, every little nuance, everything in our human experience, everything in our scientific understanding points to this reality. So what's the, it's no point even talking about it. I mean, we see, you get drunk, you have a car accident. We see this cause and effect every single day, and every single event, it goes a certain distance. Cause and effect, rules dictate. There's no specialty, there's no miracles, just stories. A lot of storytelling by people. You're taking a 2,000-year-old story, okay, written by people who can't even build an outhouse. They don't know what a star is, don't know what thunder is, don't know what anything is, and you're taking their speculation about where the universe came from, and that makes sense to you. It stuns me. It just stuns me. So let's finish up here quickly. Okay, the first cause of the universe. Yeah, we know it had a first cause. That's your point. And I think I've defeated that. There's no evidence that we know that. We know there's a first cause. No way. It doesn't have to be. It could be eternal. It can be forever. And then you call it the this conjecture. You use the word conjecture, and then you think it's wrong to conjecture about before the Big Bang or at the Big Bang. But it's completely legitimate for you to take this extraordinary explanation of a all-knowing, all-intelligent God that came from absolutely nowhere, and then he existed forever, eternity, and then one day, just out of this spontaneous thought in his brain, okay, that wasn't a cause and effect, just a spontaneous thought or whatever it was, and he decided it's time for a creation. Today's the day. I've been around forever and ever and ever, and today I decided I want to do a creation. I mean, and so that extraordinary explanation to you, that's reasonable conjecture, but it's completely preposterous conjecture for me to say the universe oscillates. Like, what is that? It just doesn't make any sense at all. You're just look, you're polite, but you're arrogant, and it just, let's see, what is this? I can't even read my own notes. Well, I don't know what your last point was. Is I can't read my own notes. But anyway, so I'll finish up. Fine. You want to believe in God? That's your business. You want to buy into this whole fairy tale explanation? I mean, I could do that though. I mean, I could say, look, let's use physics to definitively prove that Goldilocks existed and blah blah blah. But we have all the evidence in the world that people have been full of bullshit for thousands of years. Human beings are desperate liars and desperate maker-uppers. I mean, do you think that? Look here, I'll give you. You're a Christian, so let's play with the Christian crap. So these disciples, these guys who gave up everything to follow Jesus Christ, and then Jesus Christ gave them the ability to raise the dead. The ability to raise the dead. So they went out among the people and they raised the dead, for Christ's sakes. And then you're going to tell me it makes any sense at all that they denied Jesus' existence. They denied who he was, when push came to shove. They'd had this huge demonstration to them of that God is God. I'm arguing with Jesus about wasting oil on his feet and talking about the poor. You think he would bother with that when he has the power to raise the friggin' dead? I mean, come on. What sense does that make? And listen to Jesus' answer. What a great... I can't just... if there was a God, obviously I would say, the hell with you. I don't want eternal life. Send me to hell. Because I wouldn't want to play this game. Because, Jesus' great answer to Judas was, the poor you will have with you always. I am here but for 45 years. I mean, what kind of answer is that? the poor you will have with you always.